Hello, welcome to the Corner Bird stream. I'll continue where I left off yesterday, and I think I'll have a bit more time today to do whatever I need to for my upcoming tutorial. I'm going to transfer the notes that I wrote the other day into this because it's neater that way, and I can like copy and paste into my script. Also, someone that I listen to just released a new album, so I'm gonna chill out and listen to it. So far it's my type of music, so I'm really happy. I'm always happy when there's like new music coming out that's my taste. Okay, Gizmo tool. And yeah, I can confirm that I'm really sick, so like I'm not showing symptoms, but like whenever I exert a little bit of physical, like I don't know, like just push a little bit, then I can feel like my body wants to heat up a little bit, like it feels like it's fighting something inside. So hopefully if I rest well and eat enough protein, eat well the next few days, then I can get back to running. Oh my god, it's so annoying that I fell sick and like I can't run, I can't climb. Such a bummer. Well, I need to be responsible for myself, so I will. Well, at least I can do calf raises. So I guess for a 2-day stream, if I want to impart something, if I want to impart a lesson for the day for the stream would be, if you're into running or you want to get into running and you're like me, used to be sedentary and have like unhealthy tendons and whatever, or like unhealthy muscles and stuff. I used to get like calf muscle cramp like at least once a month. Like when I wake up like in the middle of the night, calf cramp, or like sleeping, like about to sleep and then my calf would cramp up. And like I used to not know why it kept happening, but eventually I realized that it's because my calf muscle is like too, I'm not sure, can I draw on this? Like this is your leg. Oh my god. Like, oh shit leg. And then the muscle is here, right? This is the calf muscles. There's like a whole bunch of calf muscles from like the left side of the leg to the right side. But because of my inactivity and yeah, just like being sedentary as an artist overall, over time my muscle was like really shortened. And like whenever I tried to run or like even like walking uphill, you wouldn't have if you don't know all these kind of like physio stuff, you wouldn't realize how much work it is just like increasing the gradient, and like walking with like a 1% gradient like can be way more work for a calf that's not healthy. But so like in the past, I think like more than a year or so, I've been doing like calf raises and like stretching out my calf so that my muscles will be strong and more flexible to be able to handle the load of like jumping. And of course, like bouldering actually surprisingly made my tendons very healthy. So I've not had any calf cramps in a really long time. So that's really neat, because like calf cramps is like so painful. But yeah, strong muscles that is flexible will be able to take the load. And yeah, it just made my running, because like it's not like there are people who hate running, right? And I don't hate running, but I hate that I like running, I guess, because I like the outdoors. But I hate when I'm in pain when I'm running, or like when I need to exert really hard when I'm running. And like I realized, thanks to my really good physio, that just having strong muscles, like having strong calf muscles, like doing So like just now I did 2 sets of 30 single leg calf raises. Yeah, like just increasing the strength of your muscles will put the load off the tendon, which usually the tendon is like here or like here. This is the shin muscle here. It will just make running so much more enjoyable because you're not like exerting to the max, and it'll be an enjoyable thing. I'm not a physio, by the way, so take my words with a grain of salt. But I guess I should say something regarding like lesson for the day for Nomad Sculpt. And I guess that would be having reference image like this. Like that. I don't know how to move this out. But like, do I just like, yeah, like having reference image and then post-processing. Like, it feels so cute. I don't use reference image because I have like a separate device, like screen for my reference images. But yeah, like this is so cute. My boyfriend came in yesterday and he was like, "What, do you sculpt this?" And I'm like, no, I didn't. I only sculpt this thing. But it's also cute. I'm not saying that's not cute, but I guess like this is a lot better. But this is just for tutorial. Okay, I need to stop getting distracted. Yeah, even talking this much, I feel like somewhere inside, they're like, can you shut up so that I'm like, your body don't need to work so hard fighting something. Feels like that. Yeah. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm trying to think about what to write for my tutorial script. I'm trying to think about like what do I show for a basic symmetry troubleshooting thing. And I think like slowly the script is forming pretty well, but I just need to think about like for one thing, which ones of these do I show? Like, what do I pair it with? Because I want to have like one problem attached to one object. So like every single object will have like a issue that I would troubleshoot, like demonstrate how to troubleshoot. Then Yeah, I don't remember. Is it this one? Okay. Okay, so it seems like I can't type if this is in the way. Can I? Oh, is it? Yeah, okay. Okay, so like 0.5 is this one. So, and I think this is like a good thing to talk about. I think it'd be helpful if like one of the issues for creating this troubleshooting part of the script of my tutorial is in trying to remember like what it felt like sculpting at the beginning, like when I first started with Nomad Sculpt. I knew that I had problems with moving around all that, but I'm not sure whether my memory is inaccurate, and also yeah, I just hope that the examples I'm giving is good. Okay. So this one would be for the bird. So maybe can I just use better if I just use this? I feel like I'm wearing a mask because I need the humidity in my... I feel more comfortable with the humidity. So maybe I might feel a bit... Doesn't really sound that much different, I guess. I'm really muffled, like naturally muffled. Use existing group. So the overall here, and then for the skull group. Okay. The other thing is that because I'm quite used to sculpting in Nomad Sculpt, that there are a lot of things that I don't really think about until I have to make it more concrete for the tutorial. Because I realized that there's quite a few things where I'm like, oh, I know how it works. And then when I want to type the script, I'm like, how does it work exactly? So I have to think quite hard about like what happens when I do things. I feel like that's one of the harder parts to select some objects. So I have this. Oh, also something else. I guess because the reference image is not really a learning point. And something else that I learned from looking at the Nomad Sculpt manual is that, like, I've always been doing this where, like, it's super tedious. I move this out and then I'm like, oh, now I can adjust the group. Because if I just move this group, I think, what the hell? You know what? And I don't really know what. Is it because it's auto? Yeah, so like by default, it's set. I think it was set to auto. So under the gizmo tool on the left side, there's this this button here for target. I don't really understand this. I'm not like very technical driven, but I think by default it's auto. And so when there's a group selected and you want to move this thing, Nomad Sculpt would predict that you want to move everything in the hierarchy, everything that's parented or like inside this group. But sometimes, like, you see like how this group is really like off, and I don't really want it there. I want it to be more centralized. So that's a way to just, I think, I'm not really sure like what these does, but if I select object and only select this, I can move this by itself like that. And then if I select everything, then it will select. Yeah, so that's something really nice. I'm just gonna leave it here for the sake of the tutorial, because I will troubleshoot this under this one. And then let me just check this. I feel like such a okay. Just checking that it's working like what I predicted. So when I'm resetting this, when I'm resetting the transforms, because this one we kind of like a problematic one to talk about, because there are a few things to do. So when I reset the position to local, the reason why it moved here is because it's parented under a group, and the group already has its own transforms. So if I reset the group to the middle of the center of the scene, yeah, because of that, it works. Like now everything is centered where like it would be if I need to kind of like fix the positioning and all that, and then I can, oops, and then I can bring it back like that. But I guess like just talking about the local reset should be good enough. Yeah, so I'll just stick it like this. I think this should be a good way. Yeah. Let me just fix up the wings a bit. Then I'll think about, I think for this one, I want to do this. I'm not sure whether I want the body to have like a little bit of asymmetry or just this example of, I need to hide this. I wonder whether there's a way to see so like for the bed, I'm thinking of doing the problem of like shifting it like just like really slightly to the point where like, because I feel like this was one of the things that I was really frustrated by, where like something is off by like maybe like 1 pixel, and then it's only until when I start doing like super minor, I think this is not really that visible, but like super minor adjustments, and I'm like, wait a minute, like the left and the right eye doesn't really look that symmetrical. And then when I do the mirroring, it's like, oh, there is some movement. That means that it wasn't symmetrical in the first place. So that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be the troubleshoot point for this bird. I'm just not sure if I should add something else. It's really hard to like structure. I feel like when I made the tutorial on file management, that was incredibly straightforward. I guess because this one there's some, I need to switch off post-process, because this one there's like some sort of, let me split this too. There's some sort of creative liberty, I guess, because so many things can go so many ways. It makes it hard to choose something. But then again, that's also the fun of making art tutorials. Like, you can make it however you want. I think that's also something that I enjoy seeing like other people do tutorials for, that like even for something really basic, like everyone can do it like their own way and it will be so different. Like it's cool to see the kind of like the creative input of the personality of different people, like how they structure the tutorial, what examples they give, or even like the choice of words. And of course, like making my own tutorials now, it makes me appreciate the work that people put in tutorials. Like, because it is, I mean, I would think, because I find it hard, that it is something hard. So this is really thick, like the wings are supposed to be paper thin in the first place. So normally when it's a lot of things to do, I just trim it off and then do that. Same thing here. And when I'm trimming, like I don't want it to be at some very weird angle. I want to make sure that it's as kind of like in this as straight as line possible, so that I can just draw like that without cutting anything. Yeah, without cutting anything really badly. So like you can see, like I can do this, but then it's like for one thing it will be quite sometimes it can be like quite wavy, and also it's like with sometimes like the thing that I like with trim tool, okay, see, you need to, is that it feels like it resets the face a little bit more than if I just like push it. If I just push it like this, then like I am introducing a lot of forms that I don't want. So I do this a lot, especially with dynamic topology. Don't have to worry about what's that thing called, topology. It's like this one's a bit ambiguous whether or not I want to, but I guess I'm just going to. And same thing for this. It's super thick because it started from a spear that was pressed in. So you can see like there's this shape here which kind of matches up with the reference, but I'll keep some of this hump because it matches the reference, but everything else has to go. So you can see like there's this thing of I'm cutting a lot more on this side than this, so maybe I want to undo that and maybe cut it from, I want to cut like here, so maybe I'll cut like this, just rotate it around so that I can see. I like to position the area that requires more attention when I'm trimming I mean. So that is that. Then now I can bump up the resolution because it was getting really tough to add. Maybe it's still too thick. think when it comes to dynamic topology too, it's a lot easier to explain when the shapes are so simplified. So once I trim, I want to clean up this like hash boundary. But if I do it super high, then it will keep this, or like it will even keep these things when I go over, because there's just too many faces, like too many polygons. So normally when I know that I want to clean this up, then I'll just bring it down really low. But bringing it down too low will also destroy too much detail. So just finding the sweet spot and then clean it up. So now it's like very nice and flat. I don't have that weird like polygonal shape there. And then now when I do this, like, oh, I feel like I'm destroying. I mean, not really, I guess. But I guess I feel like I'm kind of destroying a bit too much. I'm just gonna do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the sake of simplifying the form. So like that. I guess it is higher up. And then everything else is just painted on. Just to say it again, the reason why I'm doing this for the tutorial is because I just really like the Stark Raven, or Raven Lunatic. I'm not sure what the official name is. I'm playing Dragon Quest. What's X1? X1, is that 11? Oh my god. And like, yeah, I just really like them. They're so cute. Whenever I like ride past them, like I just try not to engage them because like they're just chilling out on their skull, like hanging out. Like they're so cute. Not really sure what I'm doing with this. Is this what I want? Maybe I just flatten it. This is also one good way to flatten it if the gizmo tool is aligned well. So like let's say if the gizmo tool is like this and I try to flatten it, it's not right. But because it's kind of like, is this parallel or parallel, then I can very easily squeeze it like that. And then I also like to use the operation sometimes to do like a uniform scale inflation. And then maybe really nice for it to curve around. I'm not sure whether I want the body to be this big or if I want to make the skull bigger. Maybe I'll just make the skull bigger. Then maybe it has to be a bit flatter. I think most part of the skull is good enough. Not sure whether doing the multi-res. Yeah, it seems like moving multi-res affects the paint. Because I don't really work with multi-resolution. This one, I didn't notice that before, that it affects the painting job. So this one. Now I'm cleaning up the silhouette. So just making sure that this is a nice line. This one too. I don't want it to like go like whoop, whoop. It's easier if I draw it out. Like this is kind of unflattering. I want it to be like this. Like if I'm drawing, I don't want it to be like, I don't know, some weird shapes. This one, like that. Also, it makes more sense as like feathers to be, because like feathers are flat, so they shouldn't really have that kind of form going on. So I don't really want the lines to be too straight. Like I want it to curve out nicely. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just very minor form correction from both sides like this. And making sure that the like each piece are not like too like uneven, but at the same time I don't want it to be too samey. And then cleaning up this edge. I think in terms of the shape of the bird, it's not too bad. I'm gonna change it to local for a bit because I shifted it a little bit. I think the other thing is also like I'm not really sure how straightforward, like how much do people not know, like when it comes to local or world, how hard is it for someone new to understand what it means? also don't know like how much I should intentionally adjust the mesh, like how much is too much adjustment. Just cleaning up this ridge here. So I'm copying distinct features. So like there is this eyebrow ridge that goes out. It kind of merges with this. So this whole edge here should be clean, like should be smooth. So maybe I can just like smooth that up a bit. Make sure that this is nice and round. And then it kind of disappears out like that, so that's correct. So like this, and then this the eye bags. So I want to deepen this ridge. Maybe I'll use a crease. And then fix the transition a bit. Blend it up a bit and then clean up this by inflating this a bit. And then like this, and then creating this. One of the first things that I talk about in my tutorial is keeping the overlays, like the grid and symmetry planes, visible when you're sculpting. So that's what I'm doing right now, just to see if like it's feasible. Because it's pretty easy to say one thing and then it doesn't work out because like it's too annoying. But so far it's not really too bad. So let me fix this up a bit. I want this to be nice and round like that. Make it round. This side too, make sure that it's a clean line like that. And then once that's done, I guess it follows it a bit. I'm doing it wrong. Oops, I guess I did it wrong. I guess it's more like this. So let me fix this up. That's more, this is more accurate. I guess it's more accurate to that. Then I'll fix this up and we should be done with the eye, because everything else is just done with painting. I think this is good enough for a tutorial. Yeah, doing this kind of stuff reminds me of what I used to do. Back in art school. And like, just speaking of tangent, like with this one, it's like, I'm not really sure how important it is for like practicing on simpler stuff, but I think probably something that I learned over the years is that like all these things are just like essentially very similar techniques and stuff. It's just they are like simple forms, but then multiplied by like hundreds to make it more complex like this. but like the ideas behind them, it's like very similar. Like I think to make this, it was like this basic shape. In some sense, this is quite similar to the bird's eyebrows, I guess. Like there's this overhanging thing, and then like cut inside, and then I'm adding more wrinkles to like the eye to form this shape. Think even like this. Like if I want to be more elaborate with the wings of the corner stalk raven, then it's like I can make sure that the base shape is good and correct, and then after that add in the detail, because like details only work when the base shape is good. So maybe I'll do a little bit of that on this dude, because why not? Should I give you a little bit of a... I guess it's cute, really. Okay, let's see if I can add this thing. If it will look weird. Maybe a bit weird. Maybe it's not too bad. Yeah, maybe it's not too bad. And this part is a little bit, can be a bit better. And I guess it should have a little bit of a forehead. Not doing the hair because there's this dude here. Oh yeah, there's like tail stuff. Let me show you how I got a tail really fast. So right now I have this mirror for this object. So like the eye, the feet. So I'll be using the same mirror thing because I like... Why is it so high up there? Would it be good to just leave it there, or... I'm trying to think, like, for the sake of the tutorial, if I should move it down, like... I just leave it there first. So, like with this, and I guess I'll just move him back a bit first. Seems like I've made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so I think this there's so many things that I want to talk about, but I don't really know like how much is too much and how to structure it. Let me just see this for a bit. So if I separate this and then change this to 0, then the wall symmetry should be fine. And then, so that means I should, okay. Fix resetting wrong transpose. So if I do this, I guess the issue would be like, is it worth showing? I feel like it is, but maybe people would feel like it's not relevant and that it'll be a waste of time, I guess. But maybe it'll be relevant. I'm not sure. I think the beak is like quite overhanging, so I will keep it this way. And then I'll do just a very slight silhouette fix. Guess like that is cute enough. And then I find this part a bit lumpy, so I'll reduce this and then just smooth this out. Just to make things smoother, so the head should be smooth enough. Wait, I kind of like got distracted, didn't I? So I'm supposed to do the tail right now. So let's do the tail now. It would be to, let me just fix these silhouette shapes. Okay, then tail. The way that I like to do it is to, with dynamic topology, I'll like drag out like this. Maybe it's a bit too high up, but also doesn't really matter. And then I'll split this up like this. I'm not really sure how to split with symmetry, but because split objects wouldn't have symmetry, I will force the symmetry. And like when I want to force symmetry for objects like this, I always make sure that I'm looking at the most detailed part, because I wouldn't want something to go really off and like not spot it, because this one is not relevant. Like this one is very easy to fix, but like even if I know that this is symmetrical and this part is not, but I wouldn't look at this part. I'll look at this and force the symmetry and make sure that nothing major happened. Just like it's a good habit to have, to like make sure that nothing goes wrong during the process of making things. So I think I will rotate this way and bring it up. And then it's not centered, so I can center it and then bring it up. I feel like talking about pivots is like, is it a bit too advanced or something? Or is it something important for basics? Like if I were to learn Nomad Sculpt for the first time, like will it be something necessary to talk about? Or will it be like boring and like, oh my god, I hate doing sculpting because I have to think about all these kind of stuff? I think that's also something that I think about. I'm like, I have to, like, I am very interested in all these kind of stuff, but I guess in like when it comes to the majority who will chance upon my tutorials and stuff, like, is it something that is it something appreciated or not really? And I guess if anything, I don't really want to make sculpting like seem to be tedious or boring. But then at the same time, it's like knowing all these things made my sculpting process like a lot more enjoyable, because I understand how to move things around and like to fix things when I need to. Because I think like the most frustrating thing would be like doing stuff and then things are not going your way. And when things are not going your way, it's just going to be so frustrating, and like it just makes you want to throw everything. Yeah, I guess learning these kind of things unnecessary. And if people are not into it, what's this? Oh, this is the body. And if people are not into it, then they'll find another tutorial that, like, there's so many tutorials out there, but they'll find another tutorial where things are more like laid back and simple, that they find fun. So once I've created this and I know that, actually I should instance this. What am I doing? So I'll instance this. Because I already have an existing mirror, I will move this down here. I'll just use what is already available instead of making new ones, because it's super simple for me. I guess, is it higher up or below? Maybe like that, and then I'll do another one. Seems like it's like upturned a bit. And then I guess it has to be more curved. So I'm not mirroring this one because it's only one piece in the center, but sometimes what I like to do is to put the object in the mirror, because this way, like, it's just like a check whether or not it is symmetrical or like is centered in relative to everything else. Because like it doesn't really matter whether or not it's like centered here too. Like, it matters if this is centered in relative to everything. But of course, for beginners, it's just so much easier to make sure that you're following the grids and all that stuff. So I think that's maybe I just put it in a bit more. And I think they look a bit like they can go a bit thinner. Something like this. And then I'll just move this out because I've already checked that it's all good. Maybe I'll taper this a bit, and then because they're good enough for me, I will just increase the resolution a bit. I think most the remaining parts, like, it's all about painting it out. And I think I want to adjust the skull a bit during the tutorial, so I just leave it as how it is. and bring this back up because it's cute. Can never get enough of cute things. Like, do you see this? My boyfriend got this for me, it's so cute. Chico is so cute. I feel like you learn so much from them. Okay, so I feel like it's like this is the part where like it's a bit tedious and slow, like the really fine adjustments. Like I was thinking that the forehead was looking a bit lumpy still. I want to capture the essence of the bird, and I want to make sure that the resolution is right. Okay. I know that my poly count is off the charts for something so simple, but I don't need to care about it because I am using a lot of RAM. I think that's like one of the reasons why I decided to upgrade my iPad, because I think it saves a little bit of time, like to not to not need to decimate all the time, which I was doing when I was sculpting everything else in the past. Okay. So making sure that the shapes are nice. This one is nice, let's fix this one. You can see that when I move things around, I like to move them bit by bit and then adjust the brush size. It's kind of a way that I like to do to create like a type of like fall off transforming. So like large brush size to move like big chunks, and then once I feel like it's too big, then I go down a bit and like move things around. And then if there's a very slight silhouette problem, then go even smaller. Then that way it's like kind of like moving things with like a soft fall off, but then it's kind of like within your very customized control how it is. Because I don't really use this, I guess. Like I find it a lot like easier to think about when I'm just dealing with brush size. I think this one is a bit And of course there's the gizmo tool to do like really big changes, which is nice. And then last one. And of course, like before adding details, make sure that all these things are good, like in order, because it's just so much easier to do. So like I'm looking at the overall shape now. I think it's not too bad. I mean, and again, this kind of like in some sense a throwaway kind of work for a tutorial, so I don't need it to be really perfect on anything. I guess now I can have some fun because I'm done with this. I can have some fun with maybe I want to oh wait, I already have. Okay. Just having some fun with drawing. I haven't done this in a while because I've been mainly working on the Night Rain Sculpt, the Elden Ring, Night Rain stuff, and like I'm still not. There's still so many things to do with that one, so I haven't had the chance to do this kind of things with that too. Like I want to get to the point where I can start doing like my own things on it, but it's like more important to get the base shapes right, so that is the main focus for the Night Rain project. It's quite pretty, but it's like dangerous, like a little bit dangerously small, so I need to make sure that like I don't go too small, because I don't want it to be like super detailed in relative to everything else. I think this size is fine, and then try to cut through from inside to out like this. Like this, and then like that, and then this way it looks like it integrates better than like to always like do things like that. Then you can see like there's a very clear distinction there, and I guess I don't really want to keep that because I want to do like a bigger thing like that. And I can also just drag this out. And then make sure that there are no straight lines. And it's always fun to change things up a bit to your own style. I think it's not bad. The only thing would be hi 3D call. Thanks for coming in. I just saw the chat. Nice and cute. I know, right? It's very nice and cute. Wait. Okay, so like now I realize this thing is kind of like messing up the silhouette from this side. Like it's looking a bit awkward here. So I'll fix it by rotating this a bit like that, just to make it rounder. Then it's always a little nice when like there's a little bit of a curvature to things, to a point. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it for everything, but maybe I want to do it on the fourth one. Maybe like this. And maybe like this is just do this to blend it in a bit. Hello. Is it carnime art? Is that supposed to be like game and anime art? Thank you for dropping by the stream. Feeling a bit unwell, so my brain is not working. I need to do this. It's a bit too I think the issue now is that this is too straight. So maybe if I just make it more flowy like this, that it will match everything a little bit more, like that. And then I guess this one can go like this. Yeah, I guess it's not bad. And then I tried to see like how I'm trying to fill it out with as few details as possible. So I think for this case there's something missing here, but it's not there. Just asking, do you think 6 gig, I'm looking at the chat now, 6 gig of RAM. I'm not sure what like Android, if there's a difference between Android and iPad, but like whether or not the iPad is like just universal. I mean the RAM is just, it's just a number and it doesn't really affect. I think whenever people ask about RAM and stuff, I feel like I do have a good answer for that, because like I have this old iPad that is the 2015 version, and I use this to make this sculpt. So 2015 version is 2 gigs, I guess it's 2 gigs of RAM, but like the number does go down as like if like apps are open. Right now no other apps are open. I cannot open anything else when I have Nomad Sculpt on this iPad. But 2 gigs of RAM is good enough for I need to see this one. Is this all of it? Yeah, so like around 15 million is like, I feel like that is the like still a safe amount for 2 gigs. So like to me, if I have this iPad and like someone gives me a 6 gig iPad, that is like a luxury to me. But yeah, the only thing for this is that because of the 2 gigs, when I was working on all these things, oh my god, I need to hide everything. Okay, it always gets laggy when like around 10 is still like fine, but you can see like it's a bit laggy. But so like when I was detailing all this stuff, then I was like constantly, like all the time, I was just drawing very fine details and then decimating, and then drawing, introducing polygons, and then decimate. I don't want it to crash, but I think it wouldn't crash. So like I'll be drawing like here, because like even for this, where is wireframe? Even for this, I can see the areas where I'm drawing has a lot more polygons, right? So as I'm drawing like a section, and then when I'm done with it, I'll decimate that. So like if I decimate this, decimation is like, let me save this. Decimation, it will like reduce the poly count by however many percentage that I set from here. So you can see before and after, from 72k to 36k polygons. And then there was just like what I was doing, like I'll finish one section and then decimate, and then do another section, decimate, or else like I wouldn't be able to finish this if I didn't do that, because it was getting like crazy laggy. But that's why like I got this iPad, because I feel like I just like I want to do very detailed stuff, but I also don't want to spend like half the time decimating. Let me make sure that. But yeah, so it's like 6 gigs is actually pretty nice. And like I'll just like bring this up. Of course, if you can get more RAM, like it's really nice, because you can see like I have all these stuff in my scene, which I was setting up for individual sections of my tutorial. Like this, for example. Isn't it so cute? But like I don't have to worry about decimation anymore, because like 18 million is like, this iPad can handle it. But yeah, for 6 gigs, I don't know whether this, like I don't know whether or not it's like for 2 gigs 15 million is maximum, and then for 6 gigs like you times 3 of that. I'm not really sure. Like I haven't really reached like the limit of this 16 gigs RAM yet. So it's, yeah. And then, oh yes, well, I like your name, by the way. It's a cool name. And do I have a Discord group? Well, I don't have, and I feel like I am like too much of an introvert to have one. But yeah, maybe I will think about it, because I guess it'd be cool to look at other people's sculpt and see stuff. But as for now, like I don't really have plans to do a Discord yet. And then if you want to do anime style and gaming style, I don't know, like from what I'm seeing with what you want to make, I think 6, like as long as you manage your, like, not sure whether you can see it here. So you can see this bar, right? So whenever it goes like too much, and that was also like how I determine like when I start decimating my file for the previous iPad. But when this bar reaches like, when like you have reached like 16 gigs or 17 gigs RAM or something, and the bar is full, then that's when you know like it's too many polygons for your for your tablet to handle. And then if you're sculpting like me with dynamic topology, then it's time to decimate down. And like you can retain quite a lot of details. Like let's say for this one, I'm just gonna decimate this. Like even decimating to like 9K, I can kind of like keep enough details like this. Like it's not that much difference. Like especially if your Final Fantasy character is like this big, and like you have all the armor pieces and stuff like this, like even like this, you can see like it's not really that detailed here. And like it doesn't matter, because when this is not done too, like it's gonna get more detailed than this. But like when you look at it relatively to everything else, like you don't really need to, yeah, you don't really need to do like a crazy amount of detail. And like this is the most detailed. I was just like trying things out. So how much is this? I feel like this is too much, like 54. Yeah. Okay, let me... And then... Oh yeah, so like 6 gigs would be 4 gigs of RAM. I still think 4 gigs of RAM is pretty nice. And like, the thing is that there's always this, I mean, I can't say right now because I got the most RAM right now. But like, if given like limits and like one of the reasons I got this iPad is because I was hoping that I will work faster if I don't have like limitations. But then it was also pretty nice to work with like low RAM, because it taught me how to like manage my scene vertices, like how to, yeah, it taught me a lot on how to just like manage many things at once. Of course, I don't really know like how much RAM will it take if like you start doing all these things, because I've never done this before, like UV unwrapping and all this stuff. But like, let's say if you do multi-resolution too, that will like, yeah, like this will help. This will help like a lot if you work with subdivision. Like probably 2 gigs is really good if you work with subdivision. 3D print sculpt. Oh, that's really nice. I hope that your dream will come true one day. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I wish you luck with your 4 gigs of RAM. Hopefully I want to release more tutorials in the future on like how I manage my files and stuff. But for now I'm working on a tutorial about symmetry and basics of symmetry and all that. I think that is... But yeah, I feel like when it comes to like specs and stuff, like I guess I feel really lucky that Nomad Sculpt, I tried ZBrush, and like you can't open ZBrush, you can't install ZBrush on the iPad 2015. So if Nomad Sculpt didn't exist, I wouldn't have tried sculpting at all. And like, yeah, Nomad Sculpt works so well with old iPads. I feel like it's like truly a blessing. And yeah, like always thinking that like the limitation is like hardware is also kind of like, it stops you from doing a lot of things. Like the way that I like to see it is that like you see what you have on your plate, and then you have to work like around your limitations. So like if let's say I have the 2 gigs of RAM, then I'll be sculpting this quite differently. Like I'll make sure that the decimation tab is always open. I'll make sure that all these files that I have for my like these things, I make sure that all these things that I have for my tutorials are all separate. Like all these has to be like their own files. So like these are things that I'll do differently when like I know that I don't have a lot of RAM, or like if the iPad is older, things like that. Like I'll put those things into consideration. But yeah, I hope that you have fun with your iPad. I keep saying iPad. Yeah, thanks. You're gonna watch my Elden Ring video sculpt? Thank you. Well, honestly, my lives, if you're watching the live stream, like they're all quite boring. It's just me working. Like I work so slow, which is also why I decided to get this iPad, because I'm like, I need to, like, okay, I've sculpted enough that I deserve to get an upgrade, like to invest in myself. And like just like even the thing of like having all of my stuff at one file, like it does save a bit of time for me because I just work so slow. So yeah, but like for the most part, like I felt like I didn't deserve like the upgrade for a really long time until I finished the Nomad Sculpt, and then I was like I should just go for it. Like, why am I waiting for? Like, I deserve the iPad. Oh, but if you, I made like a kind of like a parody Elden Ring what not speed run, like I always don't know how to label it, but like an Elden Ring, like how to beat the game with sculpting video, like tutorial video. So if you watch the Elden Ring sculpt run, then you'll see like my whole process on making the Elden Ring Macropad sculpt from from Nomad Sculpt to Blender. So if you're interested to see like the whole process, that video is kind of like a crazy time lapse of how I did it. Let me see. I feel like this tree is like too samey right now, so I'll make this a bit smaller and like just change up the type of, yeah, just changing it up. Right now this two is too similar, so I think I'll change it up by doing this. think the most part is pretty good. Just maybe add this bit and then like this. Okay, so I think that's it for the wings. This sounds a bit straight. I guess now this part looks a bit like it should blend a bit. Oops, I forgot to charge this. Oh, now that the battery's a bit low, it reminded me. Like one of the, I'm not sure whether it's still in the chat, but one of the problems with my old iPad is that the battery was draining faster than the charging. So that was like a constant battle. And like when I was working on 15 million polygons and like, I'm not sure whether it's like just working on it or like if I want to change to lit p-brown mode or like turntable and stuff, then the iPad will start like burning up because too little RAM. And like I was a bit scared that my iPad would like become really unhealthy, I guess, if I kept going like that. But like the battery draining faster than it was charging was a really big problem. And it also meant that I couldn't sculpt outside because like, I mean, I can kind of sculpt outside, but it was just like too much work to do it. Oh, and like I can't sculpt in hot weather. Oh my god, if I sculpt in like hot, like let's say the aircon dies and I'm sculpting in a really hot, because Singapore is really hot, but if I sculpt in a hot room, like GG, like just like, yeah, I don't know what happened to my iPad. Yeah, quite a lot of issues that I had to work around because of that. But other than that, I really enjoyed using my old iPad because I like how structurally reliable the older iPads are. Like I don't have like this thought in the back of my head that I'm going to bend the iPad accidentally or whatnot. Okay, I guess I don't really like this. Sometimes it's like the last bits that I find very hard to like decide what I want it to look like. Just want to do like the bare minimum. This so something like this. this one's a bit too long, so I will just make it go in. Find this part quite lumpy, so I'm going to smooth it out like this. Now it's less lumpy there. And then make sure that these have some sort of resolution. Then yes, that's it for that. I need to go off soon, so this one's at the back, so I'll just leave it alone. Although seems like there's some things there. Just gonna paint a bit. I feel like the grid is really in the way, so I guess I have to put that caption somewhere that it does get in the way. Something that I like to do for painting is to add some saturation to the in-between colors. So I will like just eyedrop maybe here and then boost up the saturation a bit, and then do like a light painting there. Can see like it just makes it more vibrant without changing things too much. And then just smudge it a bit too. I just find it like very straightforward. Like it's easy to understand for me because I'm not really a painter, and it just looks so much nicer compared to this part. So I'll do the same thing for this part. Just add that bit of saturation. I think that's about it for painting. Like I don't really do elaborate things. Then maybe these are nicer if I do this. Something like that. And then let's blend it a bit. Then this one can also just eyeball the color. I don't know whether I have enough polygons for this. It's probably too low poly. But I'm not even sure whether I want it, so maybe not. Maybe I just leave it like that. And then I guess like by right there's like all these. I don't really work with layers, but I guess I'll try. Like I was thinking following this. Just might not work out, might work out, not sure. But if it doesn't work out, then I can just delete it. Not sure if that's working out. I'm just like trying to copy what I'm seeing. I guess it's somewhat working out. Maybe using a bigger brush. And then I guess it kind of I'm not well versed with painting stuff. I have the smudge and paint key map to, which one is it? Here on the toolbox. So you can bind pencil squeeze. Oops. You can bind pencil squeeze with even with command key or alt key. So those are the buttons that I've been cycling around with. Pretty cool. It's always nice when the software when the app allows you to do these kind of things. To let you choose what you want to use different things for. Initially I was thinking maybe I'll set pencil squeezing to maybe tools or something, but then after a few days I was thinking it feels like a waste. And then because I got the new iPad and my iPad wasn't burning up anymore, then I realized that I really like painting my sculpts because I have the RAM for it now. And because of that, I realized that I've been painting a lot more. And yeah, it just makes sense to me to bind all the painting stuff to this shortcut key. And I really like it. I really like that I could bind it to what I want. And of course, I will be doing a tutorial on my macropad and all my bindings. I just don't have any time. Or more I'm just too slow, I guess. Okay, let me get this one. So maybe for this, I want to just do some very rough texturing, just something quick. Yeah, even though this is considered to me throwaway work that I wouldn't post on my Instagram, but I always find these kind of things good practice, to just go back to the basics and build up. So I guess in terms of, because I'm doing a lot of bouldering now, let me choose the color. Yeah, because I'm bouldering, I'm climbing now, and when it comes to beginner climbers, there's always this tip of making sure that I should choose something else. Is this good? No. Not sure what to use for painting a dirt map. I'm just using defaults here. But in talking about it in terms of climbing, you have all the grades from V0 to V whatever. And because like I guess right now I'm climbing V2s, V3s, that and like part of my limitation is like my forearms are really tight from just like doing this for so many years. Like I'm always like gripping my pen, so I rarely do this. And because like I used to grip my pen really hard, so I'm always like tensioning this way. And then like you can see the difference between the flexion of my left hand to how much I can stretch with my right. Like you can see like my right is not that flexible. But because of that, I've incurred like some injury on my hand on when I push hard on the climb. But so that's like this thing that I've been doing where I'll climb the easier grades and just like focus on learning like movement, because sitting around all day as an artist, like you don't learn how to like move around, especially on the wall. Like I don't know how to do dynamic moves. I don't know how to like pull myself in with my legs or like move my hips, like swinging around to grab holds and stuff. But like because with the easier climbs, I find it very easy to like grab onto things, and I'm not like burning out with like my forearm strength and stuff, and I'm not injuring myself. So far they've been like really good practice, like just to learn like, oh, I want to learn how to like dynamically move to one hole to the next, but as I'm moving, I want to push my right hand down and grab like the other hold with my left hand, and like I'm pushing my right hand that is still stuck on the previous hold so that I can generate like that force to extend my reach to the left hand, and at the same time like pushing my hip into the wall. Like all these kind of things are so foreign to like people like us who never exercise. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun just doing very simple stuff and like learning like learning more like movement patterns and techniques. I want to smudge. Okay. But yeah, in the same way, like doing something very simple when I'm very used to doing super detailed stuff. Like it's always nice to like go back to the basics and refine technique, refine my process. Even like painting right now, I'm like thinking about what kind of alpha channels that I like to use to do whatever I need to do. And I think I'm missing some saturation, and also like relating this color to this color. I want the colors to look nice together, because like let's say if I choose this let's say if I choose like a yellow that is too red, I guess it can work. I don't know, or like something more green. Yeah, I guess I guess it can work. However, maybe it's nice to add like really tiny specks of different colors everywhere. Although I'm a bit unsure about this. I think like no matter how advanced anyone is, like going to simple basics never hurts. Okay, one final thing here. Because I feel like it's more like simple stuff just really fun to do sometimes. Although right now I'm really annoyed with like how this pixel is not doing what I want. Probably it's because like it's not enough polygons for me to work with. But I guess I've tried that and it didn't work out, so I'm going to undo that. And as I said before, this is just for a tutorial. I need to stop. Oh my god. I keep getting hung up on like the tiniest things. Okay, I think that's good. Wait, this one is... Let me change this a bit because it's a bit weird. Like I want this bright blue. I forgot about these things. And also like in terms of doing simple stuff, like if you want to be able to do or like I mean if I want to be able to do very complicated things, then like the simple stuff should be like super easy, that I don't really need to like how to say, that I can use as like a warm-up. So yeah, this is a nice warm-up to do. I guess that's it. That's enough for the tutorial. Oh. Okay, we have to go soon. Let me paint this final thing, just so that and then kind of want to blend this color a bit, so I'll just sprinkle it in other places. That's usually what I do to like blend different parts together. this. That's how I blend things together when they feel like they're not blending. You know, of course it'd be better if I can do something detailed here, but it's at the back, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Maybe just give a bit of a some sort of detailing with the brush. Something like that. I think that is good enough. I like just do what you can, I guess. Okay, that was a good stream. Thank you for dropping by, everyone. It's always fun to talk about. It's always fun talking about all these kind of things. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this kind of things with you guys. Yeah, I hope that the next time I stream, I would have released the basics of symmetry tutorial, and that it will be helpful to anyone, like both like beginners and anyone like who is already quite like used to Nomad Sculpt. I hope that there'll be something useful in the tutorial. Let me end it with this in the background. Isn't it so cute? I'm glad that I could finish this up in this live stream, and I think I made good time and had a good time. I hope that you guys have a good time. I'll see you in the next one.